So, welcome to another episode of the Coaching to Profit series. And the Coaching to Profit series shows you everything you need to actually start a very profitable coaching business from scratch. And it's brought to you by Creators HQ. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about how you can write simple but highly profitable copies that convert. I'm not a copywriter myself, but I actually have a formula that I use in writing my copies, and every copy I've written with that formula, I've always converted. That's always converted, right? So let's look at what we have and what you need to be able to write amazing copies. So what we're going to do is I'll show you what you need to do to write amazing copies. Then we'll break down a particular copy that was written using that formula, right? So now let's look at what you need. So the first thing is you want to, in your copy, you want to show your credentials. You want to get people to see that you are capable, because most times why people don't buy your product is because they can't really see that you can give them, or you are capable of giving them, the results that they desire. So most times, because they don't see that capability in you, they don't buy your product. So these are the credentials you need to have. It's not compulsory you have the 5 credentials. There are 5 of them on the screen. It's not compulsory you have the 5 of them, but at least maybe you have 2 or you have 3, or possibly you have the 5 of them, and that makes it perfect. Okay, so what is your credentials about? What are your credentials about? The first one is your education. What did you study in school? Is it related to that thing that you're doing? So if probably you studied business management, for example, or something related to business or business administration, in your masters of business administration, and you are teaching people how to build their businesses, that's educational. That's your education. That becomes a credential to show people that, oh, this guy knows what he is talking about. Or probably you did masters in digital marketing, and you want to show people how they can build their businesses using digital marketing, or how to start a digital marketing business or a business around digital marketing. That's your credential. That education becomes a credential for you to bring forward to them and show them that, okay, these are my credentials. The second one is your experience. What experience do you have around that coaching program, around that thing, that transformation you want to bring to people? So what are your experiences? For example, you're teaching people about personal finance, for example, and probably you've worked in the personal, or you've worked in the financial industry for the last 20 years. That becomes your experience. So people believe you based on your experience. So people believe that, oh, this person that has worked in the banking industry for 20 years is qualified to teach us about personal finance, right? So when you are writing your copy, make sure that that experience will come in one way or the other, right? This third one is your qualification. What qualification do you have? Are you a qualified medical doctor, or a qualified accountant, or what qualifications do you have that you can present and show people and get them to believe that you are qualified to actually show them, or to teach them, or to give them that transformation that they desire? The fourth one is your track record. We've talked about track record before. So what track record do you have? What's your track record? So what have you done in the past? So probably you were overweight in the past, and you've been able to burn those weight, and now you are at the right size, right? That's your track record. For the copy we are going to be breaking down, the track record of the lady for that copy is she was able to teach her autistic child how to read very well. Autistic child that was struggling to concentrate, to read, and to do mathematics. She had a formula that she used to teach that child how to read, have fun reading, and then how to solve mathematics. So that's her track record, right? Then the last one is feedback. What is the feedback you've gotten from your past clients? What is the result they've gotten as as what's their result from your teaching. So what have they gotten? What's their result from what you've shown them? What transformation have they gotten as a result of your program or working with you, right? So the feedback is important. So it's not compulsory to have all these things, all of them. So it's not compulsory you must have the education, the experience. It's possible that you are doing your coaching program based on your track record. It's possible that you are doing your coaching program based on your qualification, or even sometimes based on the feedback you've gotten. But if you have more than one of these, then it makes it even super perfect, right? So now let's look at the quadrant formula. So this quadrant formula is what I use to write any copy I want to write, and it makes it very easy for me to write my copy. So one thing you need to understand is these people you are trying to sell to, they are in a point where they have this negative experience, right? So they are experiencing something negative. For example, they are experiencing the fact that their child cannot read, right? But they want to move from that negative point to the positive point where their child can now read, right? So you want to show them that you are able to move them from that negative point they are right now to the positive point, right? And that is what your copy is going to show them, that they can move from the negative point to the positive point. Okay, so now under the negative point, we already did this when we were doing when we're mapping out the customer journey, but we're going to explain it properly because we want to use this to write our copies right now. That's why it was important to do it earlier on. Okay, so the first thing is their pain and the frustration. And we said pain and frustration are the pains that they have right now. So for example, the child cannot read, the child is struggling to read, and the child is struggling to solve basic mathematics, right? That's what that child is going through right now, struggling to read and struggling to solve basic mathematics. Now, the second thing there is the fears and the implication. So the fears and implication is these are the things that will happen to you if you don't solve this pain right now. So if you don't solve this pain right now, the child will struggle to catch up with his peers. The child will always be at the bottom of the class. The child would, because of course the child that cannot read will struggle to write his or her exams. The child would struggle to catch up. So all those things that, as a result of not solving that pain that the child is going through, what are the implications of not solving it, right? Most times they know it. Most times those that you're trying to sell to, they know the implications, they know their fears, but you still need to make it obvious to them. Then now let's move into the positive side. The positive is, the first one there is the goals and their desire. What do they desire? And this is what your product is going to help them achieve, right? This is what your product is going to help them achieve. The desire for their child to be able to read. The desire for their child to be able to do basic mathematics. So it's just the opposite of the pain and frustration. So in the pain and frustration, the child cannot read, the child cannot do basic mathematics. In the goals and the desire, they want the child to be able to read, they want the child to be able to do basic mathematics, right? Then let's come down to the dreams and their aspirations. So dreams as an aspiration is, as a result of being able to do that thing, as a result of being able to read fluently, as a result of being able to solve mathematics well, what are the things that will happen to them? So these are the things that would result, these are the things that will happen to you if you are able to solve this problem. Now, if you're able to solve your money problems, these are the things that you can do. You'll be able to buy your dream car, you'll be able to buy your dream house, you'll be able to send your children to the best schools, you'll be able to, so those things that as a result of, so if you are selling something around money, right? We are talking of money right now. So for the parent trying to teach the child how to read, if you're able to solve this, you're able to send your child will always be top of the class. Your child would always ace their mathematics exams. Your child would probably represent their school in international competition. Your child would be probably rated as one of the best to succeed in life because reading better than his peers. Your child would be, so all those things that the parents, the desire for their child is what I'm going to put Yes, the desire for the child is what I'm going to put under dreams and aspirations. So those things, that's a result of being able to read very well, as a result of being able to solve mathematics very well. These are the things that will happen to your child. Now, I already, there's a copy that we just quickly go through the copy, and you're going to be able to see all these things. We're going to be able to see how we infuse the credentials into the copy, and then how we use the quadrant formula. Now, the copy doesn't have to follow this pattern. You don't have to start from the pain and frustration to the implication. It might make it so boring. To the goals and desires, then to the dreams and aspirations. You can start from the dreams and the aspirations, then you bring in the pain, you bring in the goals and the desires, and you bring in the implication. That's the implication of, if you don't buy this product right now, if you don't get this product right now that can help you solve this problem that you have, these are the things that might happen to you, right? If you don't solve it right now, these are the things that might happen to you. So let's take a look at the copy right now. Okay, so this is the copy, and this copy did very well. And it was, remember when we said if you want to launch your coaching program, you can also do it in a masterclass format, right? And that way people get to pay a small amount before they experience you in a small way, and before they come into your coaching program. So for she didn't want to go through the free webinar route, so she had to do something tiny in the front, which is the front end offer, and then she sold the coaching program after the 5-day ready to read challenge, right? So it's called the 5-day ready to read challenge. You too can teach your child to read, even if you're a busy parent with busy schedule. Let me show you how. Then there was a video there, and the first call to action. Now, what we started first with this copy was from the aspirations. So the aspirations of the parents, right? So we said there's a child somewhere in the world who is doing exceptionally well at school and is always at the top of his or her class. Of course, that's the aspiration of almost every parent. This child is also a step ahead of his or her peers. This child is the pride of the parent because of how well that child is doing academically. So we didn't start from the pain, we started from the aspirations, right? So we want to get them, so you are trying to get them to aspire like, oh, I want my child to be like this. Wow, yes, I know a child like this and I want my child to be like that. So you probably know at least one of these very smart children, the child of a friend, a family member, or maybe a neighbor. You see them on the pages of the newspaper and the TV winning awards. So every parent wants their child to be this, right? You see them representing their schools in both national and international competitions. You see them performing excellently in debates. We call them kids geniuses and always tag them as the most likely to succeed. They seem like some super kids. All these are still aspirations. They seem like some super kids, and you keep wondering where they got their powers from. How else do you explain a child who is 3 to 4 years ahead of his or her peers? How else do you explain a child who does certain things that most adults are scared to do? And you're right, they have a superpower and they weren't born with it. Many children who are considered to be smart today are simply readers. Now, I'm trying to now introduce the fact that all these children, all these aspirations that you see, that is because these children are readers. So while their mates were still struggling to identify letters, they were already reading books that broadened their horizon. They were able to activate their reading brain early enough, and today they are way ahead of their peers. So now I'm bringing in the desires, that's the goal and the desires, so of the parents. So they're able to activate their reading brain. So the parents want to be able to activate that reading brain so that their child can start reading. These kids are making their parents proud, both in their academics and competition. Now, I want to now bring in the pain. Now, I've brought in the aspirations, right? This is the aspiration of the parents. But for you, it's an entirely different story. Now, I want to paint the pain this parent is facing. Despite being a good parent and wanting the very best for your child, something isn't quite clicking. You put them in the best schools around. You pay so much in school fees, but it's not just helping. You secretly in your heart wish that and pray that your child is just like Kid X, though you don't say it out loud in order not to kill the confidence of your kid. So now I'm bringing in the pains, that pain that they feel right now because their child cannot read. You've tried everything under the sun as a good parent, but that child is still struggling to put words together to form sentences. Now, the thing is, you want them to feel like, yes, this is the problem I'm feeling. Yes, this is the problem I'm feeling right now, right? This is the problem I'm feeling right now, okay? I know how you feel because I was just like you. So what we want to bring here is, we want to bring in one of the credentials, right? Now, you've shown them the pain and you're telling them that, oh, I was once like you. It doesn't have to be your story. It can be that, oh, I know how you feel because I worked with Jane, who was just like you, right? Here is Jane's story. So it doesn't have to be your story. It can be the story of Jane or Grace, anybody who you've worked with in the past, who had this pain and who has solved the problem, who has solved the pain, right? So now I'm bringing in the credentials. So here's my story. Yes, I know how you feel, and so here is my story. My name is, put the name. Now you're still talking about the pain because you're telling them about your pain, and your pain is their pain. If you're talking about a client you've worked with, maybe Grace's pain would also be their pain. So I'm talking about Grace's pain, what Grace went through, or what you went through, if it's your story. Now, if you have a track record, you are telling them your story. So it's from your story, or maybe from your experience. So this is what I went through when I just started my career. So probably it's a career-related product for young people who are coming up in their career. So I know how you feel because I'm just like you. I was just exactly like you. Here's my story. I had this problem in my career. I had this problem, but I started doing something and the problem went away, right? So now you want to show them the pain you went through initially. Then at the end of the day, you now let them know that, oh, I started consuming a lot of YouTube videos. So I had this problem. When I found out my son was autistic, and through the owner of the school that he attends, I lived in denial for almost a year. Prior to that moment, we noticed he had speech delay. He was painfully struggling with reading and doing basic arithmetic. I always got the report of how he easily distracted in school. I mostly found daydreaming. He enjoys being read to, but would get frustrated and cry out loud each time I tried to teach him to read. I wasn't ready to give up. So those are the pains, right? Those are the pains. So that is how I came about creating the system. So you can see here, and I'm going to tell you about shortly if you keep reading. Today, my autistic son is a fluid reader, and doing basic arithmetic is no longer a chore for him. In fact, he thinks reading is fun and excitedly looks forward to doing his basic arithmetic every morning after breakfast. So now, this is where they want their children to be. So now I'm painting the picture of their desire for them, their desire. So this is what I went through. I found a solution I'm going to tell you about. And now this is the result I got after finding the solution. And you show them proof. You show them proof of the result. You show them proof of that result, right? You show them proof of that result. Now, if you are to be maybe like a career program, for example, if this were to be like a career program, for example, the results you are going to show them is maybe the awards you finally won, how you got promoted, maybe a picture of your promotion or something, right? But there has to be some form of proof to authenticate that story you've just told them. Now, this is the proof of when the boy was reading a storybook well. In order to prove that this system wasn't a mistake, you can see here, she decided to try this with a 2-year-old son. So the more proof you can show, the better your conversion, right? So this is the second son reading. So it was at this point I found a solution and decided to help as many kids as possible. So at every point in time, we are bringing in the credentials and we are bringing in the quadrant, either the pains, the implication, the goals and the desire and the aspiration. So we are bringing it in. But for this copy, we started with the aspiration And now we are now talking about their desire. So now when they see this, they desire it. Like, oh, I want my child to be able to read this way. So they desire everything. So it doesn't matter if the teachers are giving up on your child. It doesn't matter if you think your child isn't smart enough. This system would work for them. So it's their desire. We are not talking about their desire. So we bring in their desire. All this is just about their desire. Then this is just social proof, feedback from past clients or those who attended the challenge before, what they're saying about it. So you need to bring in feedback. So before I tell you about the challenge, yes, there are some reviews, and all that. So introducing the challenge, more social proof, track record, social proof, and then there was a place where we talked about the implication. So you might be thinking right now, but why the rush? My child will catch up when it's time and then learn to read. Right, I know your child will catch up. They always do catch up, but at what cost? So I'm not telling them the implication of not taking action right now. Is it when their peers are far ahead of them? So are you telling them, is it when their peers are far ahead of them that they will now catch up? Sadly, most of these children never catch up, and this tolls on their self-esteem. They adopt this belief that they are dumb and can never be smart. And of course, no parent will want their child to be like this. So now we are bringing the implication of not taking action right now. And the action you want them to take is to actually buy your product. So never get your child to play catch up when you have the golden opportunity today to give them a head start in their lives. The idea is to raise children who are confident, fluent, independent readers who also sees reading as fun. This is because reading is the foundation of all learning. Now you can see how we brought in the implication and we now encourage them to take action so that they won't be in that position where their children is just trying to play catch up with their peers, right? So that's how we've been writing our copies. And anytime we write our copies like this, they've always converted. There's never a time we write our copies like this that the conversion is always zero. It's always convert. Okay, so you can use this method. So all you just need to do is make sure you have the pains that your ideal audience is going through right now. You know the implication of that pain. You write it out. If possible, print out the quadrant and write it out on your notes. These are the pains they are feeling. These are the implication of not solving the pain right now. This is what they desire, and these are the aspirations. So when you're able to write that out, it becomes easy for you to now craft those things into your copy. It's possible that you might remember a story and you use that story to craft out those things that you've written under their pains, their implication, goals and desire and aspiration. Okay, so that's that for today's episode. So all you just need to do is make sure you subscribe, because this channel doesn't end with the 5-day series. After the 5-day series, more videos will be coming your way. So make sure you subscribe so that you get more value will be coming your way afterwards. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and then drop your comment and let me know in the comment what you got from this. And make sure you also like. Don't just watch and go away. Make sure you like, and then you subscribe, and make sure you drop a comment. So I'm going to see you tomorrow with the fourth episode in the series. So see you tomorrow.